How confident are you in his abilities?
This is really tough because what can you base it off of? We can only base it off of a couple press conferences and who we've known him from previous media availabilities. And you can look at the production that you can assume that he contributed to on defense over the past several seasons. And then maybe you take away things from him as a player that you think will translate as a coach. I'm not deep in enough to know those aspects of him. I got to go with somewhat confident because we haven't seen him in action yet to the point where I'm going to look at him and go holy cow, this guy's terrible. Or this guy really doesn't connect with players. So I can't put him in a spot where he's lost my confidence. I'm starting at a neutral point and trying to stay a little bit positive. Here's what I'll say, because I know I want to direct this to the people who use statistics to say, don't take a quarterback in the first round. Don't take a quarterback in the first round.
Who are those people? Give me who's an example of those people? Just Patriots fans, or are
the
there
entire Marvin Harrison Jr. fan club?
Got it. So
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a lock. Don't take one of these quarterbacks, first round quarterbacks.
So
Arcan's in that camp.
So
for
Arcan,
sure.
I'm there.
Curran, who we normally talk to today, he's in that camp. So people like this, Curran, Arcan, that's who you're yelling at. Okay.
Because to me, this is about expectations. I do not expect Jerod Mayo to have the Patriots in contention next season. I really don't. I hope the season after that, maybe it'll be a different situation. Maybe they'll be closer. Maybe they'll be in the playoffs. I don't know if they'll be in a position to win a playoff game in year 2 of his stint as a head coach. But I look back over the last 5 seasons. So going back to 2019, there have been 23 first-time head coaches. First time in the NFL head coaches. Some of these guys were college coaches before. A lot of them were coordinators, assistants, what have you.
Okay.
There is a 21% success rate to the playoffs.
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
In year 1.
In year 1.
That's good.
You think that's good?
It's not. People act like
out of
you
23.
You two act like it's a 0% chance. You two act like it's impossible. 21% tells you 1 out of 5. So 1 out of every 5 new coaches gets to the playoffs right away.
Basically, since 2019, there has been one, and you can check my math on this, but I did this morning. There has been one first-time coach each year that takes a team to the playoffs, and that doesn't necessarily show sustained success. Just look at Brian Daboll 2 seasons back. One of these coaches was Matt LaFleur, who came into a golden situation with Aaron Rodgers. So it's you got to look at the statistics.
He's proven he's a good coach.
Right.
He got back
but
with
I'm talking
Jordan
about there's a big difference between going into your first stint as a head coach with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback versus, oh crap, we're going to start with a rookie quarterback.
Okay.
All that to say, I can't say that I'm not confident because Jerod Mayo personally hasn't given me a reason to look at him sideways and go holy crap, this guy. But I will say I don't expect it in year 1, and it's certainly going to be an uphill battle.
Okay, the stat that I've seen kicking around, and I wasn't going to bring it up, it doesn't involve first-year coaches, but it does involve teams drafting where the Patriots are. I think it's 9 straight years, teams in the top 8 have made the playoffs. And I think it's 8 out of the last 9 teams drafting in the top 5 have made the playoffs. So, again, that's similar, 20%. You got a 1 in 5 shot of being a playoff team next year if you play it right, which is my point. But you can vote at Jones and Mego. How confident are you in Jerod Mayo's ability to get the Patriots back into, quote-unquote, contention? Define that how you will. Are you very confident? Are you somewhat confident like Mego? Are you not confident? Or are you totally dubious, Arcand?
I'm not confident. I was going to go totally dubious, but I think with Mayo, he does have a lot of the tools and a lot of the things that I sort of check off and that I think can work for him. He's a young guy. He connects with players. A lot of the things that Mego said, I sort of agree with. I think that there's definitely potential there. I just sort of look at the state that this roster is in and how much can he really do to elevate it. And I don't know that there's a whole hell of a lot there. If they land on the quarterback, if they get this, if they're able to sign all these players, then I think he, can steer the ship. But I'm not confident he'll be able to do it if they miss on any of those things. I don't think that Jerod Mayo on his own as a coach is going to be able to lift this team, which I think is going to have a tough offseason here. I don't think it's going to be easy for them to sign the free agents that they want. So, that's why I'm sort of stuck on not confident. And I feel like that's not really fair to Mayo because those are decisions that are going to be beyond him. But in terms of how confident in his ability to get them back into contention, not very confident.
Totally dubious. I'm totally dubious. It's the worst combination. It's putting your trust in the Bill Belichick coaching tree and putting your blind faith in Robert Kraft. Because really, Robert sits up there and he says, well, I have a feeling about this guy. And it's the same feeling I had about Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick. And by the way, your Pete Carroll feeling didn't work. You were wrong. The Patriots got worse and worse and worse while Pete Carroll was here. Now, he was a really good college coach. After a decade or whatever at USC, he proved to be a good NFL coach as well.
I don't think he cited Pete Carroll really quick in that. I think he cited Pete Carroll as a mistake. He didn't go with his gut that time.
Well, that he didn't go with his gut on Bill, but he also credits himself for hiring another future Hall of Fame coach. So to me, he's going with his gut now on Jerod Mayo. I don't trust Robert Kraft's gut. What makes you think, why on earth would you have faith in Robert Kraft? Other than his decision 20 years ago, what tells you that Robert Kraft has his finger on the pulse and is doing the right thing? He hasn't spent in a decade. On average, he's the lowest spending team over the last 10 years. And he chose Bill over Brady. He went with his gut on that one. It was dead wrong. If you want to play the game with what we've been watching in Dynasty, he wanted to stick with Drew Bledsoe over Tom Brady. I got to trust his gut? I got to trust Robert Kraft on this? Hell no. So I don't believe in the Bill Belichick coaching tree. I don't believe in Robert Kraft's gut and his instincts on this one. I say totally dubious because I'm not confident in Jerod Mayo. I'm not. You can point to the defense last year. The word you used, I wrote it down. You say you can assume what his role was on defense. We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You would be jumping to a conclusion.
Right. We have no idea. Was it Bill? Was it Steve Belichick? Was it Jerod Mayo? Who was it even? So I'm not going to do that. I don't have a lot of faith in Jerod Mayo. But if you get yourself a quarterback and you get players in free agency, all of a sudden I do believe you can contend, even with a coach I'm dubious about. It's a long way of saying it's about the roster. But I don't like the start they're off to this season. All I can evaluate is the coaching staff, the head coach, the bozos they trotted up there yesterday answering questions. And no, I'm not confident in any of it. I'm dubious about the whole thing.
Now, why are you calling them bozos?
Because
they didn't answer much?
Yeah, because they're, on the offensive side, they're all bozos. Nobody wanted them. No one wanted Van Pelt. No one wanted Ben McAdoo, who I know didn't talk yesterday. But the whole offensive side, bozos. I think that's the right word for him.
See, I think my issue with Van Pelt, I don't think I would call him a bozo, but I'm pretty concerned about the lack of vision that we're getting for the offense. And this is something that we talked about a little bit yesterday. Doug Kyde wrote about it in the Boston Herald today. Hey, we are looking towards the Stefanski style offense, which, by the way, is extremely run heavy. It's establish the run and then find the passing game after that. So maybe they're just saying that because they're looking at Ramondre Stevenson and what they have. And that's literally the only weapon that they have on offense right now outside of maybe Demario Douglas. And so maybe that's how they're looking at it. But I listen to them talk and it's we're going to see what we get in free agency. We're going to see what we get in the draft. And it's no, what is the plan?
Thank you.
Who is the guy? If you're drafting a quarterback at 3, tell me you have a guy. I'm sorry, the guy. Tell me that you have your eye on the guy, that you believe in this guy, that you're in love with this guy, that you've crushed so much tape on this guy, that you're going to get him. Because otherwise, if it's whatever best player falls to us there, we're going to go with that and continue stacking and building. To me, that's not much of a vision.
No, and, a good coach, tailor makes his system to the players and what he has. Obviously. Duh. I get that.
But you don't have anything, so you can go anywhere.
You're a blank slate. You can do whatever you want. And you still have to believe in something. You got to adjust and make adjustments to whatever's forced on you as a coach. Again, there's nothing here. I agree with Mego. There's no building blocks. There's no nothing on offense. And so, unless they're keeping Mac, which we'll get to. So, you can go any direction you want. And you still, even if you are getting away from what you believe in, you still have to have conviction and believe in something on offense. And it sounds like he believes in run first, run to win a championship. I want a tough quarterback. I want a leader at that spot. It sounds like, Arkan, the quarterback is the sidecar, which I just don't agree with and I don't think is right.
Yeah, I don't love that either. He is also coming from an offense and a system that spent a lot of guaranteed money on a quarterback. So, I don't think that, and it didn't really work out all that great either. So I think that there's maybe the buyer's remorse coming from Cleveland.
Right,
but
but he's also coached in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers.
That's true. And that's also, even if that is the case, no reason to carry that over into New England where you have the 3rd overall pick and a chance to get a franchise quarterback if that's the direction you want to go in. I think that this is more a case of them just playing things close to the vest because they have so much work to do on offense and they don't know which direction to really go yet based on the various factors here and if they want to trade in or out. And that's fine. I don't really have a big issue with that. With any of them not wanting to come out and talk about that.
They should know. They don't have to tell us, but they should know. They should have a really good idea. Are we trading back? Are we trading up? Caleb Williams is going 1. I know that. I'm sitting here. I know that. They should know that. So you're picking between Drake May and Jaden Daniels. You should probably have a good idea because you're plugged in the league what Washington's going to do it too. And then you make an informed decision based off of that. They should have a really good idea what they want to do sitting here today. You don't need to show up to Indianapolis to figure it out or see what's going on in free agency to figure that out.
They don't know if they're going to Indianapolis.
Well, Jerod Mayo's not, I don't think. But you should have a really, really, really good idea of what you're going to do at 3. You won't officially know until it plays out on the board in front of you, but you should really know. And you should be gaming that out and going through all the different permutations. That should be done by now. And I'm with Mego. I don't think it is. And so I don't like the plan. And no, I'm completely dubious about the head coach, the coaching staff, the direction of the franchise. And until I see who they pick at 3 and what they've done in free agency, I'm going to remain that way. But
all right, Bozo, thank you. I'm calling a lot of people Bozo now. It's like my new thing.
I do like it. It's a nice little.
I don't think it's very nice.
Mego didn't like it, right?
I didn't like it.
It's not the harshest way of criticizing somebody, but Mego didn't like it.
Listen, he's our Pillsbury Doughboy. Like, we like him. Okay,
I don't.
On our show, we like him. We like him. He's not a bozo. He's a dozo.
617-779-7937.
Dozo, your job.
You can vote now at Jones and Mego. How confident are you in Jerod Mayo's ability to get the Patriots back into contention? Are you very confident? No one here is. Are you? I'd love to hear why you are. If you are, you can jump in on the phones. Are you somewhat confident like Mego? Are you not confident like Arcan? Or are you totally dubious of this coaching staff and specifically Jerod Mayo? You can jump in there.